Nobody saw this coming, but it's happening. Donald Trump has just escalated the trade war, doubling tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. And now the markets are in chaos. Ontario's Premier Doug Ford is furious, calling this absolute chaos created by one person. American consumers, they're about to pay the price. Factories are on the verge of shutting down. Auto manufacturers are sounding the alarm. And just when the U.S. economy seemed to be recovering, this happens. But why is Trump doing this? And what will Canada do next? Buckle up, because this trade war is far from over. To understand this crisis, we need to go back a few months. The U.S. economy was already in trouble. The inflation rate was climbing, consumer confidence was dropping, and Wall Street was on edge. Then Trump decided to play hardball. He accused Canada of taking advantage of American trade policies and not contributing enough to NATO's defense budget. And in response, he dropped the bombshell double tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel imports. Why does this matter? Because the U.S. only produces 16% of the aluminum it needs. Over 60% comes from Canada, specifically from Quebec. That means every industry that relies on aluminum, from auto manufacturers to construction, will see skyrocketing costs. This is an unprovoked attack on Canada, on families, on jobs, on businesses. Plants in the U.S. will shut down because they can't afford the price increase. This has to stop. But the real shockwave came when Ford threatened to retaliate. Canada isn't just a major supplier of aluminum and steel, it also supplies electricity to the U.S. Ontario alone powers 1.5 million homes and businesses in New York, Michigan, and Minnesota. And now Ford is considering drastic measures, including cutting electricity exports to U.S. states that rely on Canadian power. Imagine the chaos if Canada actually did this. Businesses across the U.S. would be crippled. Energy prices would skyrocket. And suddenly, the U.S. government would be forced to negotiate. But here's where things get really insane. Trump is now suggesting that Canada should become the 51st state of the United States. We'll never become the 51st state. Canada is not for sale. We want a fair trade deal, but we won't be bullied. The markets are now in turmoil. The Dow Jones is down 500 points. Investors are panicking. And major corporations, especially automakers like Ford, GM, and Tesla, are pushing back against Trump's tariffs. Ford Motors has warned that these tariffs could add billions in extra costs, leading to layoffs and production slowdowns. And on Wall Street, investors are now wondering, is Trump intentionally triggering a recession to force the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates? Businesses need stability. And right now, Trump is creating chows. Nobody knows what to expect next. So, where does this end? Canada's already preparing countermeasures. Trade ministers are meeting behind closed doors. Wall Street is bracing for impact. And NATO allies are starting to question if Trump is deliberately isolating America from its closest partners. But there's a bigger question: is this just the beginning? Will Trump double down on more tariffs, or will the U.S. economy be forced to back down? What do you think? Is Trump making the right move, or is this a disaster in the making? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because this trade war is just getting started.